rise in revenues and in the number of abortions it commits and that you get to pay for involuntarily. We've got the new numbers on that after the break. Especially great year for Planned Parenthood by their grotesque measurements. The organization committed 332,000 abortions. That's 11,000 more than the year before. They also took in just under $564 million in tax dollars. That's $20 million more than 2016, in case you're keeping track, and we are. Tammy Bruce is a radio host and president of Independent Women's Voice, and obviously one of our favorite guests. So, Tammy, what I think is interesting about this is not only did the Republicans in Congress not do what they promised to do when they ran, but actually the problem they described got worse. So how did that happen?
Yeah, you know, this is what is fascinating to people and why there's been a general revolt, I think, within the Republican Party. They hear promises for years, almost patronizing attitudes, placating the masses on the issues that matter to us. And, you know, it's not even whether or not you're pro-choice or pro-life. This is about the allocation of hundreds of millions of tax dollars. As an example, the L.A. Teachers went on strike because they argue they don't have enough money for enough teachers, for the library, for textbooks, and yet hundreds of millions of dollars in corporate welfare for Planned Parenthood. And I'll give you an example of why it's corporate welfare. In 2015, a revenue over expenses profit, $77 million. In 2016, profit, $98 million. And then in 2017, a whopping $244.8 million profit of revenue over expenses in the same year that you note that we gave them more taxpayer dollars. So this is about the use of our taxpayer money, but also on an issue where there is not agreement in the United States, where abortions are not something that Americans think. I don't think, for me, this is about keeping Americans, keeping government out of our lives, out of our medical care, right?
Right.
But at the same time, it's the 21st century, and that the power of saying no is the important dynamic here when it comes to making choices about what informs the future of our lives. And look, so it's across the board. People, women, no matter what your position, should be appalled at this kind of money being used. But then at the same time, you've got a ruling in Texas that has lifted an injunction from the state of Texas where they want to pull back some of the money that the state gives them. And now they're going to be able to do that because of questionable practices in the Planned Parenthood there in Texas. And all women deserve, no matter who is giving you medical care or any other medical health care framework, we deserve to be told the truth about what's happening. We deserve honesty. We deserve companies that actually follow state and federal law. Everyone should want more from every medical provider. And in this particular case, when you're looking at the kind of profit we're dealing with, Planned Parenthood doesn't need federal funds to exist, but they use it to say, well, this is, you know, we need this to exist. And then it becomes a political argument. It becomes their way to get out the vote politically.
It's a campaign arm of the Democratic Party. Is the NRA going to get $500 million in taxpayer? You know, we've been trying to book Paul Ryan on this show. I'd be interested to ask, like, what did you do for 2 years? Do you remember the promise that you made? He's busy, I guess. Tammy, thanks so much. It's great to see you.
He was busy not repealing or replacing Obamacare. We know that, too.
That's true. He had a lot on his plate.
A lot, yeah, he was very busy.
Pretty good.
Thank you, Tucker.
Thank you, Tammy.